All right. Good evening, everyone. Matt Morrow, Charlotte Football Insiders. We're doing a special football focused week tonight. We've got a couple of Myers Park players with us that are pretty much spearheading a very big effort to have athletes in CMS voices heard. We've got Tahj L, Myers Park defensive back with us, and KD Redfearn, Myers Park running back. And we're going to go through some questions, get a feel for what they're trying to do, the purpose behind this protest / rally. And at the end, we're going to let them kind of voice how you guys that are watching can support their efforts in trying to, have the kids' voices heard, because we've seen a lot of adults, we've seen a lot of parents, have these debates. We've been watching the CMS board meetings. We've been watching the governor. We've been watching all these other states make decisions, but no one has talked to the kids to see how they feel, what they want to do, what their ideas are about having, fall sports, and in this case, most namely football, this upcoming season. So we're going to start with some very direct questions. I'm going to ask Tahj and KD the same questions to get their opinions and let you guys get a feel for what they're trying to do here. All right. So our first question is, how does it make you feel when you see other area districts practicing and not CMS practicing? So we're going to bring in Tahj, and we're going to let him respond to this first question right here.
So it actually makes me feel like there's actually hope in our season a lot. When I see other counties practicing, especially neighboring counties, it kind of gives me the feel that, what are we doing so that we can make sure, or we can ensure that our season, will be able to happen. And I feel like if we can, take a little bit of what the other counties are doing, then we probably can make it so that we can have our own season for ourselves in this time.
Well said. Well said. All right, let's hear from KD on that same question here.
It's very frustrating, just seeing everybody else put in work, and we're putting in work and not getting anything in return. But it does give me a little bit of hope, but it kind of frustrates me that we're not getting the response we want to hear. And that's about really it.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that.
Well said, guys. Well said. And I'm going to put everyone on the screen because I got a response to that question right there. So you say you guys are not getting a response, from anyone, in CMS. So how can we get a response from them, in your opinion? That's the whole purpose for this rally, correct?
Right. And go ahead, Katie.
I'm hearing all the adult opinions, and maybe if they hear the kids say something, then maybe they will open their eyes and give us the opportunity that we need.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Tahj.
And another thing about that, like you said, we haven't heard from us, and it's been a lot of times throughout this, whole entire pandemic when they have just brushed aside, oh, we're canceling some workouts, no explanation, just we're canceling and we'll bring back another date. Not trying to find a solution for many of us kids who actually need this sport, many fall kids who need their sport, to continue to go on for their future endeavors, to probably play college, and we just want to answer.
And not just that, I think is more behind sports. It teaches you to be a better person,
Right. Like, and another thing with just being a better person. There's nothing like being in a sports locker room. There's no, even in this world today where we're facing all different types of racial dividends, and it's a lot of division in this world right now. And there's nothing is as good as being united as a team, especially coming from a school that is so much diverse than I could probably say than anyone. And we always come together as a brotherhood. We don't look anyone different than the other man. We always together as one.
Well said, both of you, man. That's very impressive. You're wise beyond your years. I can see that already. But now I want to pose the question to you. we obviously, I think there are coaches out there that support, what you guys are doing. Just seeing, the flyer being retweeted on Twitter, several coaches with words of support. So how do you think CMS can make a way for fall sports to start practicing right now, which is what you guys want? Katie, I'll let you go first on that one.
That's a tough question. Really, just give us the feedback on it. I mean, like, you can take away games. I'm okay with that, but just the excitement to get back with the people that we love, and just the community and just rallying all together. It's very exciting, Even if they got to move it back to the spring, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm fine with that. But we just need the season and need answers.
Right. And another thing with that question, I've seen many other schools and even colleges, even though we have the pose the threat, like some Ivy League schools, they're canceling their season. I just heard most HBCUs are canceling their season today. But I feel like even I've talked to some college coaches on how they even worked on with their teams and how they run prevent the spread of coronavirus throughout their whole entire team. And a lot of these coaches I've talked to, they don't have any positive patients on their team. Everybody's safe, everybody's secure, and I feel like if we can take from what they're doing, then I feel like there is a possibility that we can. We just want the choice to be able to say, can we take what they're doing, or if you feel like your child may not be able to do the, then that's the parent's decision and the child's decision on whether or not. But a choice on it would be really nice.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. No matter how you feel about it, if you have a choice in it, then you have the right to say, yeah, I want to play, or no, it's too risky for us to play, or for my son to play if you're a parent. And, it works out. The problem solves itself pretty much. We do have a comment, and I want to add this on here from William Robinson. And he says, are the parents willing to sign waivers to let kids play sports? So what I'll ask both of you is, do you feel like your parent or your legal guardian would be willing to sign a waiver to allow you to play football this season? Tahj, I'll let you go first.
Well, I know for a fact my parents, they're already willing. They know, I'm responsible for what I want to do in this world. We all growing young men, young women, we all got to take a next step in the world in a few more years. So I feel like my parents, at least, they're going to, Tahj, do what you feel is best. I can't say for other people, but I know as long as my parents, and I know many other parents who feel like, their child has been putting in so much work. These people don't understand the amount of time and effort it takes, to build a craft for a sport. And especially if you want to, take it to the next level or use the sport to, benefit you in the future, it takes time, it takes effort. And I feel like they're just throwing that under the box as if, who cares? They just out here playing, and it's bigger than that.
Well said. Well said. KD, I pose the same question to you. You think your parents will
like Tahj said, we're all young men and we can make our own decisions. And I fully think let us make the choice, and I'm pretty sure they would sign the waiver. And just piggying back on that, there's been plenty of times I went in public with my shirt on and like, oh man, I hope you have a season. It's just not the kids that's frustrated; it's the parents as well,
Absolutely. And like I've been saying, your coaches, are fully behind you as well. But just the option to have the choice, I think, is the big thing. When we talk about wanting to play sports, you just take it out of your hands. It's tough. It's tough, especially you guys being rising seniors.
I'll say fall sports, it is very important to me. At least, a lot of us, we've been playing football, most of us been playing varsity. Our parents always want to experience, that senior night. A lot of that has, that's been like a big motivation for many people. I just feel like another thing, like I said before, the unity, you know what I'm saying? Like fall sports, I feel like it's just nothing like it. My coach used to preach about, having a perfect night to play football or a perfect night to be together as a team. And I just feel like there's no better season than fall. Even though, it's a possibility that we could be moved to spring, but, fall sports is important to a lot of kids, I feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and like I said, for your senior year, I can't imagine, and I was terrible. Our team was terrible my senior year, but I mean, it still had a lot of great memories. It was a lot of fun. Just, not having that experience, I can't imagine, possibly losing that altogether. I think we got KD back with us, so I'll let him respond to this question.
The importance to fall sports, I think fall is a very big thing for all schools, and not just the football part. I think every sport should have the opportunity. It's very frustrating, but I think everyone should have the opportunity to have fall sports. And just me being a senior, I think I can impact a lot of younger athletes out there. Just being able to get the chance to be a senior and be a leader. And I really want to be able to set an example and leave a mark.
Right.
Well said, man. And just to sum that up, you mentioned, the other sports as well. I mean, we've got so many things that go on in the fall. You got volleyball for the females, you got cross country, you got soccer. You got all those sports going on, and you're losing all those, memories and the chance to, go get a college scholarship. I mean, Tahj, in your case, I know you're ready to commit here pretty soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you're losing that chance to make a name for yourself, and you never know what could happen. We've seen some kids commit, and they go out and they have a big senior year, and they may get a bigger offer and a better opportunity. So, all those things are huge, across the platform, not only in football.
Right.
Next question on here. Do you think we can push back the date of fall sports, possibly to the spring, to make a compromise and get a season in? KD, let's start with you on that one.
I think it's possible. I mean, if that's the only option, then, why not take that opportunity, But I think it's possible. I really think it's possible.
All right, let me follow up on that.
But my only thing about it, if we move it to the spring, then I think we should get the opportunity to still get together. But I 100% think that we can move it to the spring.
All right, so let me ask you a follow-up question. Would you, if you had a college scholarship, would you still play in the spring and risk getting hurt?
It's nothing like high school football. And my coach always told me that, I'll take my chances.
Wow, that's big. That's big, man. And then that speaks a lot to how important this whole thing is. Because I mean, if you're real willing to risk a college scholarship to play your last season of high school football, that warrants a serious conversation from the adults in the room to say, maybe we should give these kids an option. Maybe we should give them a chance to decide what they want to do. All right, Tahj, I'm gonna ask you the same question there.
My opinion on fall sports getting pushed to the spring, I feel like it is a big possibility. We do risk the threat of getting hurt, messed up shoulders, and we going right into a collegiate season, literally a couple months. And another thing about that is, if we were to move fall sports to the spring, how we deal with spring sports and fall sports and together. And, I can't say for many schools, but at least my school, we have a good training staff. We have Miss Danielle. She works pretty well with us. And she has a group of kids that work with her to help her a lot. But schools I've been at before, like Philip Berry with one trainer, how would that work, with the risk of, injuries? How would a trainer be able to be at more than one spot at, all the time? And I feel like that's a big impact on sports as well, because, we aren't as best as our weakest link, and the weakest link is a part of our team. And I feel like trainers are a big part of that. So, yes, it is a possibility, but, we also have to count that in when we're moving it to a different season.
Very good point. That's a very good point on the trainers, and that's something that hadn't really been talked about that much. Is just the difference of resources at schools, like you said. You guys at Myers Park, I've met your training staff, and they do an excellent job. But you're right, and I'll tell you, the young lady at Berry is very good. But
Yeah, I know.
yeah, but that is a lot to ask. If you're going to have all those sports going on at one time, so there's a lot to consider. In something like that. So that being said, if we don't have football at all here this season in CMS, would you or your teammates consider moving to another school or state that plans to play football this upcoming season? Tahj, we'll go back to you first.
I've talked to my parents about it, and yeah, I feel like that's a big thing. If not, I was gonna plan on moving to a different state to play. But another thing is, we only have only a few certain amount of schools that are accepting reclass athletes in Charlotte, and you don't want to. I mean, there's a lot of seniors out here who don't have offers, who are out here grinding every day to make a name for themselves, and you don't want a bunch of seniors reclassing, trying to get the senior season that they missed. It's going to be a little shaky trying to do that. So I just feel like, yeah, that's my point on that.
Very good, man. KD.
Just thinking about that thought, it kind of scares me because I build so much at my school and I love it to death. But if it got to that point, then I will have to take my chances and move.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting right there. So obviously you don't want to move. This is a last resort kind of deal. So when we talk about moving, and Tahj, you mentioned reclassing. So obviously, you guys have done some research into this and are considering, this as a real option, correct?
Right. Yeah. My dad he's been showing me, schools that I could possibly go to. And so, yeah, that has been an option for him at least. I personally, I want to stay in Charlotte, play in the CMS. This is what I like to do. So I wouldn't rather leave. But I mean, if it had to come to that, then I probably would.
Wow. And that, to be honest, from my standpoint, that's tough, man. That's tough. To go in somewhere and just play your senior year, coming into a whole different school, or possibly a different state if you're looking at South Carolina. And you may know some kids from playing in 7-on-7 and stuff like that, but still, you're coming into a brand new locker room, brand new coaches, having to establish yourself in just 1 year. When you've been playing normally on your team here in Charlotte, you don't know, nothing is guaranteed in football. You could go somewhere and you don't play, and that could end up hurting you, getting looks like you mentioned earlier, and trying to get a scholarship. It's no given that you go somewhere and you're going to get the time and attention that you get now on your CMS team. So you can't take this very lightly at all. And obviously you two have done your research, and that's impressive. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, how devastating would it be to lose your senior season? Tahj, we'll start with you.
To lose my senior season, that would hurt me a lot. Not just for me personally, but to be with my brothers. A lot of these guys I grew up with, even the ones I play against. We grew up together a lot. We played football since we were tiny, and even though I may have offers to go play football at the next level, senior season, there's nothing like high school ball. After I leave here, it's nothing but a business. My spot isn't always guaranteed, and so I feel like just being a senior and playing a senior, that's just gonna bring so much more memories than just not playing and just going on to the next level. It's nothing. I feel like it's just nothing like a senior year, walking out for your senior night, and a lot of that.
Amen to that. I can remember my senior night just like it was yesterday. It was funny. My mom came and supported me, and she used to hate coming to our games because we always lost. But anyway, the memory of her walking out there with me and was priceless. And then seeing her walk back to the car and go home. She want to see us lose. But you know, the main point of that is it's memories that are going to stay with you, you know, forever. KD, I'll ask you the same question.
Oh man, that's tough. It really is. Having the senior season taken away from me is going to take a big toll on me because I mean, I really was expecting for it and put in a lot of work, and a lot of people depend on these type of things. You know, a lot of people, a locker room might be totally different from their home, and they're expecting to come to the locker room, and it's just nothing like Friday nights or just fall sports in general. And that's what I always tell my mom, and I always tell her there's always hope. So all I can do is pray.
Right. Oh, another thing I like to touch up on that. Like even like with that being said, you know, with like seniors not be able to, you know, this might be some of these guys, you know, last ride, their last chance of ever, you know, trying to make a name for yourself, the last chance for them to play football, you know, and that'll really hurt, you know, most guys who can't, you know, have the opportunity to. So I feel like it's bigger than a lot of this. And I know a guy that actually went to my school, and he was playing baseball, played like 3 games of baseball, and he was really good. He was just moved from another country, I think, and they had to start a GoFundMe page just so that he can go to college. I mean, you know, that's big, you know, and a lot of people, we don't have that resource. A lot of people, you know, football, fall sports, track, basketball, it's their way out, their situations, and it really can't help your family no matter what background you come from. It can always help to go to college for free. So I feel like that's a big.
Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Tom that it's just stressful. You know, a lot of people depend on the senior season. A lot of people just need the senior season just in general, and it's just not about the players. I'm pretty sure the community wants this as well. This is a way of everyone coming together, and I think what we got going on with the world right now, this can be a start, something positive.
Exactly. I got another comment here. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen. I'm putting everybody up. Bakari Rollinson says, from a recruiting standpoint, moving to another program in your senior year can hurt your recruiting position. And you know, he's absolutely right, because you know, you're looking at recruiters, you know, it's a red flag, and they're going to question, you know, even though they may know the situation, they're going to question and say, well, you know, what's really going on here? Is he, you know, going to go into the transfer portal when he's a freshman and he doesn't get time? You know, those kind of things, you know, are going to start, you know, kind of red flagging you. And that's something that's out of your control in this case. So it's something that, you know, you can't take lightly. You take it, you know, very seriously here. I had a follow-up. I'm going to go solo on this one. Let's get this down. You know, I want to ask both of you guys, and it's so hard to how I want to phrase this. Have you heard from your coaches, you know, on their thoughts, you know, in this situation, and you know, how do they feel, you know, about everything that's going on?
I'll go on this one. Well, you know, I've seen a lot of coaches on Twitter, you know, who want their season, not even in North Carolina, in general, like in Florida. I've seen a lot of people, you know, talk about that. But I know from my standpoint with my coach, you know, we have, you know, our Zoom meetings where we come together and talk about things. And one thing he said is, you know, he misses us being as a team, you know, being together. And like I said before, you know, there's nothing like, you know, being together with your brothers as your team. You know, we're all together. We don't look each other differently. But, you know, I feel like that's the biggest thing with coaches wise, you know, the bonds that they have with these players. And if they're missing out on them, you know, what much can they do? That you know, that takes a toll on them as well.
Absolutely. I also want to ask you this. So we saw CMS come out with the B+ plan, basically saying, you know, the kids, you guys are going to go for a couple days to get orientation on remote learning, and then you're going to go into remote learning, you know, for an indefinite period of time. Without sports, without football in this case, how engaged are you guys going to be and your teammates going to be with your remote learning? Because I'll tell you, in my experience, sports was the only reason some of my friends and my teammates, stayed engaged in the classroom.
All right. Well, I can tell you this right now, and I'm not trying to try to throw dirt on anything, but a lot of these players, they are motivated. Even during the all season, to stay in school so they can play the next year, or stay in school so they can have good grades and go to college. If we end up not having a season with remote learning, I can honestly tell you it's gonna just be bad, and it's not going to be a lot of it's going to be a little bit more different from last year when they was doing remote learning when students weren't coming in. A lot
Correct.
of these athletes are just going to just quit on that. I feel like.
Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, back on what Tyler said, I mean, obviously, I'm a student athlete, and I'm gonna still do my work. But I can, from what I've seen, a lot of people does sports. Well, they go to school because they want to do sports, and that's their motivation of them to keep doing their work. Everyone has their own motivation, but sports is a big motivation for a lot of athletes. And if you take that away, then I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of athletes just won't will give up, and that's just the truth of it.
Yeah, that's facts.
Todd, you have anything else on that?
Yeah, I agree with Katie. I definitely agree with him.
Yeah, that it's unfortunate. Just going back to my coaching days, I do. There were several kids that came up to me privately and said, "Coach, the only reason why I'm here is because I need to find a way out." Um, and like you said, Taj, it's for a lot of these kids, that are getting offers that are on that borderline that aren't committed right now. They're looking for a reason to care, a reason to stay engaged, a reason to be motivated to do well. And sports is that avenue. And there are a lot of great coaches out here, including your coach and Coach Chadwick, that does a really good job with being engaged with you guys. Um,
Yeah.
let's see, we got a comment coming in. I'm gonna throw this one up here. That's Bakari again. Can they handle adversity if they move to another program? Is what we look at because they move to another program. Katie, did you have something on that?
Yeah. Adversity is always going to hit you. I mean, it's adversity everywhere, and I generally think I can overcome adversity. That's just my mindset. But I can understand where you're coming from. It's going to be hard, but it's just adversity everywhere. And I have hope, so hopefully it does not get to that point. But adversity is everywhere, and that's just what my mom tells me.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Taj, what's your thoughts on adversity? And right now we're in the biggest adversity that I can remember in a long time. But how well overall can you handle this whole thing that's going on? I mean, how are you holding up? Just in general.
Um, right now I'm just doing the best I can to ensure that I have a season, doing my part. Even if they tell us one day, oh, you guys go back, I'm making sure I'm doing what I can. But I feel like as me, I know I can go to a different school and handle that adversity. I know I can handle hard coaching, favoritism, all that. But I mean, for others, I can't really say so. So, you know, that's my take on that.
Well said, guys. So at the end of the day, the reason why we're talking is because you guys are, trying to organize a rally slash protest Wednesday, July 22nd, excuse me, 10:30 a.m. at the CMS Central Office Building, 4421 Stewart Andrew Boulevard. So this is your platform right here. How can athletes, other players that are in CMS, coaches in CMS, and fans, how can they support you for this rally coming up next Wednesday morning?
Um, I'll go. You guys can come out, protest with us. You know, we're asking for an answer, but all the support we can possibly get. Sharing our motive, our pushing it out to the people, that will really mean a lot to us, and it'll really help us out a lot.
Katie?
I wouldn't necessarily say protest. I say it's just a community coming together and letting our voices be heard. But numbers, I think numbers would be a key. And if we can get the numbers, we can get the voices and have people to speak out, then I think there's a possible chance.
I agree. I agree. We've seen, the reaction from, all the different, rallies and gatherings for the social injustice going on. And we've seen action come out of those things. So, I would like to support you guys, and I'd implore to anyone that's watching tonight and that's anyone's going to watch this on the playback, to share the flyer. If you have a young man that's an athlete or young lady that's an athlete in CMS, get them to wear their, jersey, wear their school colors, come out and support at this gathering on the 22nd at 10:30 a.m. I mean, it's very important. I'll tell you, we've gone down to the CMS board meeting a couple of times in the past, and they'll listen, and then some action has come out of it in the past. So I admire what both of you are doing right now, trying to have your voices heard. I think when it comes directly from the kids, the young men that you guys are, it says a lot. And I wanted to do this because we do want to support you guys having a voice. That's one of the things that we really stand on the Charlotte Football Insider. So if there's anything that we can do besides this to help you out and help get your voice heard, we'll be glad to do it. I'll let you guys have one final shot here on anything you want to say, to kind of end this on this note.
Oh, I'll address one thing that I seen in the live comment. Someone said the saddest part, because the ratio doesn't match up. The educational part is going to last longer, and someone has to help these kids understand the depths of life beyond sports. And that is very much true. Education matters, and I know that for a fact myself. My parents have preached me that since the day I was, in class, that education is always first. But also, with that being said, some kids, education matters, but to some we can't afford that. And I know, a lot of people are in poverty, a lot of people are poorer than others, and different situations come about. But we trying to use this time that we have, this moment, and this sport. Even everyone who's trying to use this sport is trying to use this sport to take us as far as we can in life. And that's what I always tell people when they ask me, is your goals to play to make it to NFL? I never tell them that that's my goals. I tell them that I try very hard, and I try to use this sport to make it as far as I can. And I mean, if it's as far as I can is to give me a college degree, then I mean that's perfect. But if I can go a little bit further than that, then that's always perfect too. But I feel like a lot of people, they mistake on what kids actually want from this sport. You feel me? A lot of kids might not want to go to the NFL. They might feel like, that's not the best option. But, it could be a game changer if they can, change their family's motives and the narrative of their family and go to college for free, or even go to college in general. So I feel like that if that answered your question on why, we are so pressed about this situation, like we said, it's always bigger than sports. It's more to it than that.
Man, that's an awesome answer. That is an awesome answer. That's super impressive right there. KD, I'll give you your final words here.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond to a comment about the programs and like prep school and JUCO or local prep programs. Those are always options. I don't think kids are just like, oh, well, I need offers. I mean, of course they're looking at those options as well. Like I'm looking at those options as well. Yeah, that's just my saying that, but that's always.
Yeah, but another thing to touch up on JUCO prep school is I've known personally guys, Nathan Kimball, I believe is his name. He actually played in CMS a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's prep schools is not always as it seems. You feel me? They might tell you one thing and it might be totally different thing from what they're actually preaching to you about. And so, that might be an option. But like you said, adversity comes with that. Someone might tell you something different, and now you're in a whole different predicament that you didn't even expect that you would be in. So that's, that's always an option, but it always comes with consequences with that.
Both of you guys, and I'm gonna bring everybody up here. Great job. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna let you get to your drink in just a second.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job coming on here tonight, getting your voice out, getting your message out to everyone. We've had pretty good numbers. We had some great comments on here. We'll share this on all of our platforms, of course. Like I said, anything that we can do to help. We want football. We want all fall sports here in Charlotte as well. So hopefully, when you go out there Wednesday, 10:30 at the CMS Central office, your voice will be heard. You'll get some responses, and hopefully they'll go back and consider, having athletics as an option, no matter what plan we're on, whether it's plan B, plan C, whatever it is. At least have the option to have athletes make a decision on their own if they want to try to play sports or if they don't. That's what it comes down to.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, guys. And I want to thank everyone for watching tonight. I want to thank everyone that commented. Appreciate you guys coming on. And the best way to end this, great comment right here by Shannon Gatling. Outstanding young men. I totally agree. 100%. And then Bakari Rollinson, great job, guys. I am impressed. If you need help getting any looks, feel free to reach out. And I'll, help, I know who Bakari is. I can help, get you guys in touch with him if you want to do that. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Once we share this out, I would appreciate everyone sharing this to anyone that you can to help get these young men's message out. Thanks for watching.